Um, Hello. I am a little nervous. Thank you all for coming. Um, I'd like to offer thanks to Moray House for hosting us and to David D. Carey's, in whose spirit this trust has been formed. I remember before I came to Guyana in the summer of 2006, 8 years ago to the month now, a cricket writer on The Guardian learnt of my secret plan. After advising me to carry an umbrella, he said I must write to Michael Atherton. In fact, he had already told him that I would be getting in touch. With great trepidation, I wrote to the former captain of England, trying to sound casual. He gave me a phone number for his father-in-law, who had started, as he put it, Guyana's independent newspaper which fights a courageous daily battle in an often fraught country. When I came to Georgetown, I contacted Mr. D. Carey's. He warmly invited me to his home and said he'd call a few other people I might like to meet. 2 minutes after our conversation, I rang him back, stricken. I'm sorry, I told him, but I'm very shy. Would it be possible to meet just you? Now this was the truth, but I was appalled that I had brought myself to say it and felt flushed with embarrassment as I did. He would have been well within his rights to say, don't waste my time, kid. I offer you something nice and look at you. Instead he said, of course, I understand. Dorian and he took me out to dinner at Queen's Thriving, and they more than offered to help. They encouraged it, with a warmth and generosity that is evident in the idea of this trust. So thank you, D. Carey's family, wherever you are. As I think of that meeting, I'm reminded about that time of arrival in Guyana. Though I came with the instinct that I would write something, and though I had written a big book before, I did not come as an author. I had no plans. I came ignorant and curious, with an unaccountable feeling of attachment that would come to feel like intimacy. To return now after 7 years as an author feels odd. It amazes me to think it's been 7 years because for much of that time I lived as intensely in Guyana as I had while I was here. Its sounds and moods and people and concerns were in my head continuously. It feels like I just now gone and I just now back. Yet I wondered how it would feel to return. There was the unusual position for me, or for most writers, of being discussed in the letters and columns pages of newspapers. Some very gratifying, others not so, and we've been told that this morning Freddie Kissoon has had a go. But it's taken a while to teach myself to try and not let interventions affect my own relationship as an author with the book and as a person with Guyana. The worst that can happen is someone dislikes your work or thinks your intentions malified. Any writer must live with that. On the flight over, I was beside an old lady on her way to Leg 1, and though this sounds overly sentimental, whenever she called me son, it made me feel greatly happy. On landing, the runway was damp with Guyanese rain, and the huge blue sky was fluffed with cloud. The taxi man Mukesh, good name Andrew, and I began to gaff, and soon he asked me, feel like taking a walk? And I said, why not? So at Soustag, he turned off towards into the Linden Highway, and we're racing now under the great white clouds, and 10 miles after we turn off into the trail. This is Hauraruni, where his grandfather helped start the Full Gospel Church, and where he grew up to, and he'd be meaning to stop by his nanny. In his nanny yard, we soon knocking back avocado pear ripe like butter, and drinking cold sweet coconut, and collecting orange and lime and papa in a rice sack. And I'm thinking, I just off a 40-hour journey across the world. I never meet the man before, and my luggage and everything still in the car. I thought only in Guyana. I felt like I had come home. When Guy Rau's book I admire so much, it suggested that the text rather than the authors be in conversation. It seemed like an excellent plan. However, there is one definite downside. After reading in India, a friend had said, it sounded pretty good to us, but I'm sure your Guyanese accent is dreadful. Well, this is the deep end now. Was a time I could pass off as Guyanese, but now maybe I stuck between India and Georgetown at some unspecified spot in the Atlantic. So please be kind.